Do you believe China will lead the 21st century?
Well, America became the most successful country in the 20th century, but along the way we had plenty of problems. We had many depressions, we had civil war, we had illegal politicians, et cetera, et cetera. China is certainly going to have problems, but as I look around the world, I don't see any other country that is going to be the most important country in the 21st century. I mean, the U.S. is now the largest debtor nation in world history. It's unlikely that a country in that situation is going to step forward and be the dynamic leader for the next 100 years. So the only country I see on the horizon that can do it is China, but China's certainly going to have plenty of problems, just as the U.S. did as we rose to lead the 20th century. Silver certainly has a lot of uses in solar power and many other things, as well as in electric cars. If we have electric cars, and it looks like we will, for example, I mean, an electric car uses several times as much copper as does a regular car. So all this move to whatever you want to call it, ESG, clean energy, et cetera, is going to have other knock-on effects rather than just, you mean we're not going to use gasoline anymore. There are many, many other effects. And one of them will be much more demand for silver. Silver has many uses in electronics and in electric cars, as you know. And, of course, silver helps prevent disease. I mean, silver has a lot of great uses. So don't sell your silver. At least I'm not selling mine. Bonds are certainly in a bubble worldwide, so you certainly should stay away from bonds all over the world. Property in many places is becoming a bubble. If you go to Korea or New Zealand or a lot of places, you see bubbles developing. Stocks, well, we know that some stock markets are developing bubbles. I mean, not everything, but, things like Samsung go up every day. There are many things that never go down, including in the U.S., but there's still stocks in most markets that are not booming yet. So I don't see the stock market big bubble, complete total bubble yet, but it is coming. And as I look around the world, the only asset class that is cheap are commodities. I mean, silver's down over 50% from its all-time high. Sugar's down 70% from its all-time high. Oil is down 50% from its all-time high. These are not bubble numbers, Cam. I mean, when you talk about things being down huge, huge numbers, that's not a bubble. Commodities are the only thing I know that are cheap. The rest of the year is, 3 months, 4 months we have left in the year. I suspect we will have correction that we're having will continue a little. In some markets will continue, but then the central banks will get worried and they will pump again. The market will rally. But next year, I would worry that next year it's all coming to an end. But I have to tell you, Cam, I'm very bad at market timing. I have no idea when this is coming to an end. I do know we're getting closer to the end because I can see the various signs that are taking place. We talked about what's happening in the Chinese market before. I can see these signs. We have SPACs. SPACs are making a comeback. They always come around when the bull market's been lasting a long time. New players come in the market, and they all tell their friends, this is so easy and so much fun, and you can make so much money. Well, that's happening. This is not my first rodeo, Cam. I've seen all this before, and I know how it's going to end. I don't know when. If I had to guess, and this is only purely a guess, I would say sometime next year, but I have no idea. If all the central banks really, really panic, and they all print, they can extend it for a while. Not forever, because it's been going on a long time already. But this is not the beginning. This is not 2009. This is 2021, going into 2022. The interest rates in 1981 in the U.S. were about 20%. That's not a typo, 20%. So we would certainly have much higher interest rates now than if we didn't have all this money printing and all this quantitative easing and all this buying of assets that they've been doing. I have no idea, but certainly it would be well over where it is now, and it's going back to very, very high levels again. The bull market in bonds has lasted 40 years now. and that will come to an end, partly because the gigantic amount of supply of debt, huge amounts of debt supply, plus all the money printing and inflation's coming back. All of these things, it's not my first rodeo. It always leads to higher interest rates and higher bond interest rates, lower bond prices. And it will happen again.
Jim, do you believe Bitcoin is a long-term store of value?
Do I? No, I don't. Well, let me clarify that. There's no question that all money is going to be computer money eventually. You go to China, you cannot take a taxi with money. You have to use computer. You cannot buy an ice cream in China with money. Their money is already basically on the computer, and nearly every country in the world is working towards that same status. And governments love it. It's much cheaper for them. They don't have to print it or guard it or transport it or anything else. And once we have computer money, the governments will know everything you do, Cam. They will know. They'll call you up one day and say, "You've been having too much coffee this month. Slow down." They'll know everything you do, which they love, of course, which I don't like, of course, but it's coming. And it will be computer money. But in my view, let's use the U.S. When the U.S. government has all our money is on the computer, I don't think the U.S. is going to say, okay, now this is money, this is the U.S. dollar, but if you want to use something else on your computer, you can. Governments don't think that way. They don't like to lose their monopoly. They don't like to lose their control. So I doubt, as long as these things are just trading vehicles and they don't hurt anybody, or they don't threaten anybody, I don't see a problem. The problem is going to be that if they're successful, and as you know, the bulls, the supporters say, oh, we're going to replace money. When you start telling governments that you're going to replace their money, I don't think many of them are going to say, oh, what a good idea. We'll give you permission.
What kind of triggers will make you add to your stack of gold and silver, and how far do you think prices can drop?
Well, it would be price. Price and the mood of the market. I mean, if you start seeing on the internet, oh my God, I'm never going to buy silver again as long as I live. Those are the kinds of things that catch my attention. So price and the mood of the market. Despair would make me buy more gold and silver. How low? I have no idea. I mean, at the moment, I would certainly buy more silver than gold. Silver, comparatively, gold is down, 10% from its all-time high? Silver's down over 50%. So silver's cheaper than gold at the moment. So if I were buying either today, it would be silver. But let's see what happens as we go along.
Before we continue, help us clicking that YouTube like button and subscribe now to our channel. This shows the algorithm that you valued this information. And it helps us spread that message. Sharing is caring. And now, let's continue.
What to do in such a situation? Inform yourself and keep your financial education strong. We from the Compact Group offer our loyal subscribers a free educational portal with first-hand monetary, financial, and economic knowledge. Enter our invite-only Insider Club by clicking the link below. You will get access to first-class information far earlier than the rest. We have prepared a special deal for all our members where you can access a giant pool of Robert Kiyosaki's financial wisdom for just $1. To find out more, simply click the link below and join our Insider Club absolutely free. But there is more you can and should do. Build up several streams of income. More and more people realize that they have to take their future in their own hands, but they don't know how and where to start. We from Compact offer our Insider Club members unique opportunities. Strengthen your financial muscle and get the edge. Click the link below. Become part of our free Insider Club. No financial obligations. But there's one important thing you have to know. You have to become active. So do it now. Become active and see you on the other side.